be a part of our broadcast. Want to wish all over the globe people a happy Father's Day and a safe Father's Day to all the fathers, to all of the support fathers, and for all the strong mothers who have been carrying the load of a father or trying to assist in the absence of a father, sometime because of death, sometime because of life challenges, and sometime because of situations that are beyond the comprehension. So for every uncle, for every granddad, for every brother who has helped in supporting the children, the sons, the daughters, and being there and going to the events and going to the dances and picking them up from school and taking them to the doctor when they're sick, we say to you, happy Father's Day and happy Support Day to all of you. I want to welcome in all of those that are from the virtual campus, the Greenwood campus, and throughout the globe. We thank God that we have thus far made it through the pandemic. I want to share with you today just some concepts that we're going to build on that will slow us down and cause us to think. There's a scripture. What's the scripture?
2 Samuel 5 and 4.
I want you, if you would, to find 2 Samuel 5 and 4. We've talked about the character of David. We've talked about his struggles. We looked at the text that said, and David went on and grew great. And so what we want to do, and we have been talking about dissolving a negative reputation, and this is one of the things that David had to do. And whether you feel as if though you're still falling under the victim mode, because people do feel victimized because of hurt, pain, and I said this previously, sometimes your past is behind you, but you're still beefing with the residue. You're still beefing, and so it kind of put you and I in a victim mode, because you look at others and you think that they have overcome when you don't realize that they're overcoming. See, I saw a situation where a gentleman had said there were some people criticizing a man because he smoked three packs of cigarettes a day. And so he was trying to get himself together, and he had lung issues, and people constantly criticized him because he would smoke 3 packs of cigarettes a day. And so one of his support people, it was actually his pastor, said they are still criticizing him for smoking, but they don't realize he's down to 4 cigarettes a day. See, what you don't realize and what your subconscious will tell you and what it will try to hide from you is the progress that you've made. It hides your progress. You don't see that you thought yesterday was going to kill you, but you still are living today. You don't see that. See, here's the problem. When you are walking away, it's a lot slower pace than when you ran away. Because when you ran away, you didn't forget some things. When you walk away, that was a choice. And so I've never forgotten that lesson. He said, people criticize the man for 3 packs of cigarettes a day, but they don't realize he's just down to 4 now. Because, see, people see you as you were. They don't see you as you grow. And the only way to change that is you got to change what you say about yourself. You have to change what you say about yourself. And let me help you out. Because here comes the battle. As David was trying to become what he was assigned to be, and I want you to write this, as you are becoming what you're assigned to be, you're in a very uncomfortable and ugly stage, because you're not what you should be, but you don't realize you're not what you were. And so if you're constantly stuck on what you were, you can never embrace where you are. Does this make sense? And so what happens is your subconscious keeps bringing back your memories, and your subconscious keeps stirring your pain. And your subconscious infuriates your emotions. And so now you're so emotionally driven, you start to stumble instead of walk. Because you want things to happen and to be done so quickly. And this is why one of the most powerful words in here is dissolving and overcoming. So when you are not overcoming, you're killing the seeds that have been planted. So now if you did overcome, you won't have anything to share when you have overcame. Does this make sense? Because you will meet something new, you will be somewhere new, but you brought the old you. Because you're still talking about the residue of your pain rather than the freedom of your opportunity. Does this make sense? So if you were to meet something new, if a new job were to come along, if a new community was to come along, if you're not used to taking out your trash, you will leave your trash everywhere in a new place. If you don't cleanse and circumcise your heart, then you will meet something new and still talk and behave with something old. So you got to understand the victim mode. So then what you have is you have a crowd in your struggle and you have few that are cheering you in your opportunity. Because people can't cheer what they don't understand. They can't cheer. They can't cheer. They can't cheer the process because they use no process. They use their emotions, and their anger and bitterness stimulate their emotions. So now they're driven in pain. So whether they win or not, they're never satisfied. Have you ever dealt with people, no matter what you say, they're never satisfied? And so then they always have a different story to tell you. And they always find a different reason to do something. They never do it because of cause and effect. They do it because of pain and release. So what happens is, in this victim mode, they're always struggling and surviving. And when they're struggling and surviving, they have no conscience of the present. Ask me why that is dangerous. Because then there's nothing to plant. If you're not conscious of your present, you will mark time. And then when life comes, I'll give you a simple plan. Let's say right now you're in your 20s and your teeth are good and healthy and strong. And so you're going through. When you get in your 30s and your teeth start to lose up, you realize you need dental. But the problem is you've had no prior dental work and you've had no prior dental insurance. And so now you have a toothache, you need a root canal, and you need some molars pulled out. So you have $5,000 worth of work, and you want to go get insurance and pay $10 and have somebody pay the $5,000 that you never invested in yourself. Because you never thought your teeth were going to change. So what I want to talk to you today about is growing pains. But to embrace growing pains, you're going to have to establish trust. Because growing pains will put you in an uncomfortable environment. It would change the dynamics and the scope of what you see. But if you can't trust, you can't finish the test. See, because many times people spend their time on asking, why am I here? Rather than, Lord, help me learn while I come through here. We spend time on why I'm here. Why did this happen to me? All my life, things happen to me. It happened to me, it happened to me, it happened to me when I was there. See, the reason you can't move forward is you're still stuck in where you were. and what he did to me and what she did to me and what they did to me. See, sometimes you're too thin-skinned to move on. And until you shed that old skin, you will not have the outer toughness to go through the wilderness. Does this make sense? So now I'm going to give you this part right here. Pain is what should activate your growing phase. Now, I'm going to change a word. People use the word constructive criticism. It really should be constructive correction. Let me help somebody out. The reason a person sometimes will critique you is because there's better in you. And see, under this ministry, everything is going to be laid on the table. Body, mind, and spirit. And the only reason I critique you is because there's something better in you. So you want to fold when you're supposed to bloom. Baby girl, find me the picture of the rose that says you don't change the flower, you change the environment. And so what I do is come in and try to stimulate your environment so you can get the full substratum of what you're supposed to be. And so, but it creates conflict because your flesh is in conflict with me because you take it as criticism when it's constructive information. I'm going to show you something here today because pain is what should activate the growing phase. Growth should lead to dissolving the pain. If you're in the same pain, that means you have not given it up yet. My God. You have not come to the conclusion that it's done. And every time you open your mouth about what it was become alive. So now you want to be away from a spirit that you keep activating in your present. You talk about it, it'll show up. See, you don't fill your cracks with grace and mercy. You fill your cracks with anger and bitterness. So now the enemy gets to seep in and fester in your anger and your bitterness. Does this make sense? So while you're having a victim party, the enemy is adding more death seeds to you because you won't talk faith. You won't talk mercy. You won't talk grace. You talk down to yourself. You let other people talk down to you so you can never know yourself because you keep giving up yourself to get along with other people. You got to stop giving up yourself to get along with other people. I don't want no trouble, so I'm going to just go ahead. You know, listen, there's some folk you need to tell to stay out of your life. Close the door, break the knob, throw the key and the knob away. This is now closed. Hanging around to be a victim. Because that's all you know is abuse. Because people have always told you you were dumb, you were ignorant, you were stupid, you were incompetent. So now that's your personality. You have to understand that's a chosen personality, not a given personality. Here's the thing. There is no, and I'm almost done. There is no reason, sir. Tell your son, don't come in with no headsets on. This is church now. We got to go back to church. Yeah. All right? We done had all that other stuff. We got to go back to church now. Because we got to respect the house of the Lord. So let's not come in. You stay up all night, play video games, and do all that, and then you come to church. Your world will never change. Amen. I know it's live, but it ain't going to change. It is what it is. Amen. Because here's the thing. There is no real room for growth if we're still harvesting our past. Amen. Ask me why. The dirt hasn't changed. I'll say it again. There's no real room for growth. See, real growth is not acting out. Real growth is not events. And too many times as people, we get caught up in events. We don't focus on life. We focus on events. This is why the text says, and David went on. And see, listen, you're waiting for the storm to cease. Here's the problem. The storms are going to get stronger. You're going to have to learn how to work and function in the storm. You're looking for a perfect season? There's not going to be a perfect season. You're going to have to learn to work in difficult environments. You want a better boss? Then become the boss. You know. Can I tell y'all a little story real quick? Sometimes you're not ready to be the boss. Let me tell you a little story. There was a friend of mine. When they were struggling in business, they came to me and they wanted all this information. And I told them, I said, you cannot dissolve what I'm going to say to you. Well, long story short, today, in this day, in this present time, with the pandemic, their business has bloomed because people have been home and they're working in their yards and things. Now, when everybody was working, I showed them how to extend their business and go outside on slow days and open your business to this time, and then go make guaranteed money by giving services. Okay? Everybody's like, oh, that's cool. But here's the thing why I say you're not ready to be the boss. Because, see, you wanted to learn, but you don't want to train nobody. So let's say you were making $2,000 a month that you needed because your business wasn't producing it at its location. Can I tell you what you do? Once your business starts producing at its location, you forget about the $2,000 that you were making on the side. So you go without wise counsel and you tell all those people that were writing you checks and paying you every month, I'm not doing this no more. Because my business has picked up for now. Let me show you what analytics and a strategy would say. In the middle of your business, you should have been developing someone. So now this person can handle your outside business while you handle your inside business. Because at some point, your inside business is going to taper off and you will have lost your outside business and now you can't go and get it back. What are you saying? When you only see you, you will always be a one-trick pony. And the day that you're sick is the day that you had a big event, but you can't meet what you were supposed to do because you don't want to develop anybody. Watch out. Because as old folk would say, you don't set horses with them. Here's the point. You don't need to set horses. They just need to get the job done. See, you trying to make a mini-me when you need somebody that can go get the job done. So how can you expand your business when you close your business? Because if you have guaranteed money, now you're on the phone telling me what you don't do no more. So my $150, $250 you just threw away. Because you got people now coming to your location. See, some people are in it to poison you and some people are in it to help you get better. And I would have said to you, you don't need to lose guaranteed money. You need to find some people that are off and want to be a 1099, a subcontractor that love what you do and go do it for you and give them a percentage. So even if they leave, you still have your business. But you have killed your outside business because it's all about your inside business. And see, this is how we're not growing and expanding because your subconscious will tell you it's all about you. Somebody could help you, somebody could guide you, somebody could massage it so you can still get both parts. You shut down one part because all the excitement is over here. And I keep telling people you cannot live your life in events. Because wintertime is coming. And unless you are mighty good steward financially, and based on what I know about you, you're not, You're going to need that money come October, November, December, and January, and February. But had you kept it going, see, it's better to get half of the money than to get no money. Because, see, what happens is, where there's no real room for growth. See, some of us have shut out good teaching because it's not loud and boisterous and there's no organ player. So I'm liable to go to sleep. That's why you're not good in books. But that's why and you can say you can do the job, but it's amazing somebody who read the book is over you. Because you don't want to get the book knowledge. The book knowledge gives you a platform. See, you just want the emotional and the hard back knowledge. Here's the problem. At some point, these hands going to get arthritis and bursitis. These knees ain't going to be able to do what they used to do. Come on. Now, here's what nobody has probably said to you. Do you really understand your prime? Do you really understand your prime? I was sharing with someone earlier. You have to understand. Come here, baby. You, come on up here. Come on up here, OG. Come on up here. Come on. We're not going to talk about age. Come on, stand right here beside me. How old are you?
9.
9. She probably can do all kind of things. She ain't going to be able to do it. Not for long. Because the elasticity and the cartilage in her joints are fluid and mobile. So she can stay up all night, run around and play and do all these things and still get up and go to school. Well, me and OG, we're going to have to take a nap after too much activity. See, no one has told you in your prime. You were not prepared for your prime. She doesn't wear glasses. Me and OG need glasses. Or we may hit you in the parking lot. I didn't know if that was the fly. Or I done ran over somebody. You got to know the difference. But if you are stuck in resentment at 9, if you don't get it, you'll be stuck in your latter years. So the reason God said, "Yield of God, little children, and overcome," because they're quick to forget and move on. Some of us can't move on because we had forgotten. Thank you. So here's the thing. There's a scripture I'm going to read to you, or have read to you, that you have to get in your spirit. Do you have it?
Yeah.
2
Samuel 5:4.
Everybody, hold on. Go find 2 Samuel 5:4. If you're out there and you're on the Virtuous Campus, take your phone or take your Bible if you have your Bible, and I want you to get this, because here's the thing. David had to make a decision. Let me know when you have it. To stay in his pain or seek God for a desired life. See, when you keep listening to your friends and you keep trying to fit in, you will never receive your desired life. When you keep following the crowd, you keep refusing to address abandonment issues, people who are still causing you pain in your life. It's amazing they don't want you, but they're still causing issues in your life. It's amazing they have never had nothing to offer you, but their presence has been an addiction for you. And so you feel obligated to answer their call. You feel obligated to see what they want. Just because you have children with someone doesn't mean he still belongs in your life. Just because you have children with someone doesn't mean that she still belongs in your life. You can never establish something with someone else, especially an alpha male or alpha female, always bringing your past dirt with you. People can accept your children, but they can't always accept the people you fool with because you made stupid, dumb decisions. And yes, I said it. Now I expect you to be a better person, but you still hung up with dumb and stupid people. We can love the kids, but I can't put up with the stench of the trash that's from your past. Your baby mama can't be coming all over my house, in my house. Your baby daddy can't, he needs to get his kids at Barlow. That now has been bought by Food Line. He does not need to be driving up on my turf. I am a true alpha male. That I know that, but I'm not taking it back. It's the truth. Your baby daddies are sitting in the room with you with your new man. That's too many people in that room. You got 4 or 5 baby mamas in the room. That's too many people in that room. It's not going to work out. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot. We lied. No, I didn't forget. We don't understand boundaries. We don't understand boundaries. We don't understand boundaries. Hey, listen, you can take this however you want to. I don't have no Father's Day message. I'm telling you the truth. We don't understand boundaries. We divorced while you still in the family line. No, I have some issues in my own family. Why are you still in the family line? You ain't in the family. I'm not at your funeral. If I come to support my kids. I don't come to get up there with you. We are legally divorced. What you doing up here? What you doing up here? If you couldn't stick with me in good times, why are you trying to stick with me now? Why are you up here? It ain't for the sake of the children. They grown. Where my daughter at? When your grandpa died, where was I? I was there, wasn't I? But I was in the back. You passed out. What was you drinking? Okay, you emotional, so I went from me. But I'm just saying, see, you all want to talk about a new life. Y'all have not established boundaries. You've not established boundaries. You can't have a new life until you establish boundaries. You don't have to agree, but that's why you can't get to the promised land because you don't understand boundaries. Respect, self-respect. That's like being in a room with everybody you slept with. Ain't enough room in the room. Yeah, I said it. Because I feel y'all spirit. And some of y'all out there in virtual campus, you got to get this because you're making terrible mistakes. What you want, you're not able to sow the seed because you're still where you've been. And if you want to move up, you're going to have to change your language. You're going to have to change your behavior. You're going to have to change your attitude. You're going to have to change your company. You're going to have to change you're going to have to change you. You're going to have to change you. And see, David's life is a perfect story. This is why when you read the text from the historical perspective, this is why they say polygamy is never good. Because it created friction when you got all these wives, and notice it ain't never all these husbands, it's all these wives. You know, we on Father's Day, all these wives, they start bickering and having issues and want their kid to be this and be their kid. And so now your son rapes your daughter, and then his brother kills him because you should have never been involved in that mess in the first place. You should have never been involved in that mess in the first place. And so all the issues that he had, he created because of his lack of ability of self-discipline. Nobody want to ride with you and your present boyfriend with your 5 old boyfriends in the backseat? like two of your ex-wives in the kitchen cooking together like that's going to work out. See, now you hear people, see, now the truth comes out. So your new person and all your baby daddies, all y'all going to get into bed together. All your baby mamas. Y'all don't understand about it. Listen. I deal with real issues with real people with real problems. So if you turn the channel, that's you, because this ain't gonna change. And here's the thing: I always got critics, but here's the point: if you could do what I do, you'd have done what I've done. And I'm from the old school. What I say, I can stand up to. That's not arrogance. That's the truth. All the time when I do something, I always got these little preachers and these little people run up to me. Man, dog, you arrogant. Listen, dude, I'm just telling the truth. I never intend to be arrogant and cocky. I just intend to be truthful and honest. And I'm not trying to win no fan club, no popularity contest, because heaven is my platform. And if I get to heaven, I may never be on your stage, but if I get to heaven, that's all I'm concerned about. And I plan to try to stay. Now, don't y'all be in the way up there now. Because I want you to read this. Come on, you have it now?
2 Samuel 5 and 4.
2 Samuel 5 and 4.
David was 30 years old.
Come on.
When he began to reign.
See, there's some things you got to do in your prime that you're not going to be able to do after your prime. Because you keep giving up years because you're angry, you're bitter, and you have resentment. And some people are literally trying to get even. Your insurance premium is different in your 20s than it is in your 30s. And it's different in your 40s than your 30s. And God knows, don't break the line of 50. It's different. Let me say this. Everybody need to look up long-term health care plan if you are young. Because you can get it for pennies. But see, here's the misconception. You think you can get it when you're old. There ain't nobody gonna give you a check for the rest of your life, and you 58 years old. I'll be 59 next month. They would not even talk to me. Oh, you're too old. It'll be $800 a month for you. Because here's the point. You don't have that much more to give. In your prime is when you should most be balanced. Yeah. It's just like this morning, I had to correct my grandson because I am an alpha male. You don't believe me? Test the waters. Because he's sitting there in his emotions and feelings. And I'm not seeing his daddy right there. I ain't scared of his daddy. He's my son. He's bigger than me, but he can sit down. Here's my problem. I'm looking 30 years down the road. And if this behavior persists, and all the female, it's okay. No, it ain't cold. I'm going to snatch your behind up, and I'm going to show you your grandfather. Let me tell you why. Because then when you get on the streets, you won't act that way. See, if you don't know boundaries. See, y'all women are designed to comfort and to pet. Men are designed to structure and give order. Y'all didn't get that, did you? So I'm going to give order. And so he went back there and he had, I said, nothing wrong with you. You finna sit down. Because if I don't correct you today, you will be in trouble tomorrow. Because what you let get by becomes an ocean later. So you got to put a stop to it. And you got to change the development. And so David had to put a stop to his dysfunction. And see, many of you are missing the opportunity to sow in your prime. Because what's between your ears is messed up. You don't see the bigger picture. And see, the thing that I have a challenge with, there's certain ethnicity groups that are stuck. You think you're old when you forgot how to earn. You're trying to be where your mama and them at. You're trying to be ahead of your mama. You should try to be ahead of people when you have the financial stability to be ahead. You come out of a small house. I don't want a small house. Maybe the best thing you ever had. You're going to get a bigger house. You may not be able to pay for it. You have to make sure that you have the strong financial structure to be able to handle bigger things. If you do, go ahead. But just to want it and not be prepared for it, you're not going to sustain it. Because here's the effect. If you're not stable in your prime, then when do you get stable? If you don't teach your sons now how to cut grass and be responsible and they just playing games all day, all night, what do you think what do you think their appetite is? And then women, I don't know what's wrong with y'all. Y'all need to raise y'all standards. Y'all will let any old thing come in. He just playing games all day. Yes, I said it. He just playing games all day. And now when you need him to be a man, there's no framework. Now you mad and now you bitter. Because here's what you did. We choose out of our emotions and never out of our substance. Because if you don't have dreams for yourself, how can you have dreams for other people? If you have no accomplishments for yourself, how do you have accomplishment for your kids? How do you send your kids to a place? I remember when you were getting ready to go to college. Yo, if you want to go to school, I said you got to be out your cotton picking mind. You done claimed that young man for 18 years and received tax credit, and now you just gonna send him. He don't even know what FAFSA is, and now you just gonna send him up there to talk to folks about going to a place that he ain't never been, that you ain't never been, that his daddy ain't never been, and pretty much only one side of his family did do something, and your side didn't do nothing. Now you gonna send him up the hill, and they gonna ask him, we need your parents' tax returns, so we can see if they filed their taxes and see if we can get you qualified for FAFSA. What's FAFSA? Hello? Because in your prime, all you did was work because you thought you had a job. Now you in your 30s and 40s, and all you still have today is a job. You don't have no career. You don't have no skills. Hello? Because what David did, come on, let's read this.
2 Samuel 5:4.
Come on, y'all.
David was 30 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 40 years.
See, here's what people don't get. You have a start time and you have an end time. Some have stayed too long and some have waited too late to get started. Now, let me tell you what your fan club says. You can do it. You can start over. With what? You can do it. With what? You gave up everything for your emotions, and you never planted anything of substance. Can I educate you for the next 10 minutes? Look up, since we're doing this, look up how long it takes an orange tree to produce an orange. Look it up. I know. Well, somebody told me. I hope I know. Then I want you to look up how long it takes an apple tree to produce an apple. Look it up real quick. I got time. I got 10 minutes. Hello.
It says apple tree 5 to 8 years.
An orange tree, 15 years. 15 years.
Say what? Come on, read it. Come on, talk to me. There are people waiting and listening and want to hear. Come on, talk to me.
The apple tree begins producing fruit after 2 to 10 years, depending on the
2 to
type.
10.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now I'm gonna ask you something. I'm teaching something. This is why I tell preachers and people I ain't the one to play with. Come on, read that again. I'm gonna show you something.
It says an apple tree, it takes 2 to
Take
10
your mask off and speak in that mic and
The apple
spread when you
tree
finish.
The apple tree begins producing fruit after 2 to 10 years.
2 to 10.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all hear that?
Mm-hmm.
Tell me what's wrong with that statement.
What's wrong?
True. Very good. Come on, tell me what else is wrong with that statement. See, this is why I've been teaching this for years, and maybe somebody out there, let me say what the old folks say, in TV land will get it. Who, what, when, where, why, how, and the percentage. What's missing from the story? See, everybody ain't gonna tell you the truth. What's missing from the story? Very good. But here's the thing nobody's telling you. They're telling you 2 to 10, right? They didn't even tell you how long it's gonna take to germinate and what time to plant it. So if you're 60 and you go outside to plant an orange tree, you might be dead before it produces its. And I understand grafting
Not for an orange tree.
takes 15 years.
It takes 3 years to start producing, but 15 years to grow completely.
Well, then you're producing immaturely, because an apple tree, Brainiac, the first crop of apples are very small, which means your first results of your business is going to be very small. So why did you quit your business? Because it hasn't taken root. You see what I'm saying? So when it takes root and it goes through the premature stage, it is not fully production and producing until it's mature. That's at 15, that now every year it should produce a crop. No one is saying, how long does it take to germinate? See, it's the germination that people don't get. Look it up, baby. This is my little brainiac right here. She loves science. And I love the challenge. Because, see, you're trying to get fruit when you've never planted.
It takes 7 to 10 days for an orange tree to germinate.
Takes 7 to 10 days. All right? Somebody else look up how long it take a tomato. Somebody else look up how long it take a banana. Because there are some seeds that only can germinate when the temperature is right. When the ground, and there you go. And it germinates. So until you're in the right environment, the seed cannot burst and come open. And your first results are going to be small. Now, you can graft an apple tree. What you got there?
Tomatoes take 20 to 30 days.
Tomatoes take 20 to 30 days. There are some things that you have to sow in your youth, like long care health care plan, that you will not see the benefit until you're older. Am I making sense? See, it's not how you look. It's from a luxury standpoint, it's your net worth. Because you can get clothes at the Jockey Lot. You can get a fancy car at Buy Here, Pay Here. Am I making sense? See, see, the ugly part is the foundation. And this is what we do with our children. We do not teach them that there are certain things you need to have going into your prime. So while you're strong and you're young and you're not taking naps, you can lay out a foundation. So now as it grows, you cannot do that without a foundation. Look at somebody and say, do you know your prime? You got to know when you're in your prime. Because if you plant a orange tree at 65, it'll be 80 before it's fully matured. Now, how many of us are going to be able to run up and down the ladder and pick oranges? Is this making sense? Yes, sir. So now I'm going to ask you a question. How much more time do you need to give away to dysfunction? How much more time do you need to give away to the victim mode? How much more time do you need to give away to your enemy? How much? We say we all love our children, we all love our grandchildren, but where is their foundation? Father, mother, to build off of. You never structured. You never organized your business. You never made it legal. How can someone carry on when you never established? And one of the things that drug down David was his prior behavior, his unsettled issues. Remember, he took the man's wife, and the man was crying behind the chariot. And they just made him go back home because Saul was trying to appease David. And he had given his daughter to David when he was feeling like he was equal, but David was growing great and Saul was growing weaker. But if you never establish, because here is the subconscious mind, we keep thinking we have time. And I'm going to get myself together. And it's going to turn around. It can't turn around because you need strength. Anybody that used to be able to open jars and open, now you got to pull it to your body. You almost have to get an electric jar opener. Okay. How many of you all grew up with the hand can opener? And, oh, mama, I got it. You grab a hand can opener. Everybody, most people now got an electric can. They like, let me stick it under here and press the handle because my hands can't, they can't grip like that. And now it's all up on your body. You got your outfit on and you're about to put some pickle juice on you. And then somebody say, I get it, aunt, I'll get it, grandpa. I got it, leave it alone. And now you got pickle juice all over the counter. You got pickle juice all over your clothes. And then your grandbaby come back, Grandpa, you smell like pickles. Because you don't have the strength. And how much have you given away that you can't get back? Does this make sense? So what David had to do, and see, this is 2 points. One, if you're not in your prime, as a parent and as a grandparent, you need to be preparing them for their prime. And in some groups, all these electronics don't do anything but steal away because electronics don't teach discipline. So you have this person that's absorbed into an electronic game that he or she is king and queen. And so when they let that game down, they come in with that same bravado that they think that they can say and do because I won the game. So it was a babysitter, but now it's a monster. And so now that we have these internets where everybody can get over and talk, and now people don't understand. Because see, here's what other people know about some cultures, is that they're not going to know when to stop. It becomes an addiction. They're not going to know when to stop. So everywhere they go, on their phone, in the car, it'll happen in school, it'll happen walking in traffic, it'll happen in church, it'll happen in class. And you as a parent, you don't see nothing wrong with it. Because that's my child. I hope it is anyway. If it ain't, you paying taxes on it. So act like it's yours. But it's not building the child, because to be effective, you're still going to have to communicate with people. And when you're in your own little zone, in your own little world, it's another form of isolation and independent thinking. Just like the person I told you about that could have expanded their business and slid a subcontractor up, somebody who could go around, but see, we don't search and find somebody. So now we're getting in-house money and we're getting outside money because we don't like to train. We like to be the only ones that know. So my point in asking you as I get ready to close, do you know where you are in your prime right now? Do you know where you are in your phase and stage of life? I'm going to give you 4 little things, and we'll talk about them later. Understanding the phases of life. Whatever it is you want to do, study the seed, number one. Here's the dynamic factors. Read what that says real quick.
When a flower doesn't bloom, you fix the environment in which it grows, not the flower.
So when your child isn't doing what it should be doing, you change the environment. You don't give them a new toy. You change the environment, which becomes structure so they can grow up great. If you ever seen trees, I know peach trees, they put a stick on it. You know why they put a stick on it? Stabilize it. Do you know the other reason they put a stick on it? It's because the forest creatures will come in and eat the tender branch. So then there would be no peach tree. If you ride down toward Aiken, you'll see the older trees that have the harder bark has no sticks. It's the young tender trees. So then it can grow up and not be eaten by deer and forest animals until it gets a thicker skin. Does this make sense? So that's what changing the environment is. You have to add more structure. I told you this morning, this is not going to be something you're going to run and jump and shout. You had that last Sunday. This is something that's going to make you think. I ain't speaking to your head. I'm speaking to your intellect, and y'all need to look up what intellect means and your intelligence. There's some of us that's going to get old and still have nothing. And I come from where they told me Jesus was coming in the 60s. He is coming. But see, we have misinterpreted the Bible so much, and that's one say, well, take no light of what you had today, because, tomorrow, It's in the Bible, but you don't understand what he was saying. What he said was don't get caught up in today. But he didn't say don't plant in today. It says don't get caught up in today. In other words, if you have wealth, just don't focus on your wealth. You got to realize that you may be gone tomorrow, but you just don't have nothing. So if you don't have nothing today, you ain't going to have nothing tomorrow. Then tomorrow you ain't going to have nothing, but you serve the best Jesus. You serve the best Jesus? And you don't even have a skateboard to get across town? You serve the best Jesus, but you got your hand out? And if you got a little something, just because you got a little something don't mean you something. Whatever we have is not going to heaven, and it's not going to hell. It'll be left here on earth. And if you watch some catastrophic storms, sometime it'll blow all our stuff in the water. All cars, trophies, fire, hail, water, rain, all our stuff will be somewhere either smoked up or wet up. Family pictures that you got all down the wall in the house. I know somebody mad about that because some houses, they still got all the family pictures all down the wall. All that be tumbled over.
I have the intellect meaning.
Okay, come on.
The faculty of reasoning and understanding objectively.
The faculties of what? Reasoning and intellect, the ability, so to have something. Because see, this is the thing I don't understand about churches. They always want you to give money and folk fall out and cut us off and all that. But don't nobody want to go to no regular church. But if you don't want to go to no regular church, somebody got to pay some money. The days are over for the preacher riding around in a new Cadillac every year. Yes, I said it. Every year we got to get a Reverend Reggie a new Cadillac. Man, stop it. I mean, that's where that's the age group I came up in. But I'm just sitting here saying, if you don't put nothing in, there won't be nothing there. And this is what I tell people, and there'll be some preacher out there that will get this, hopefully. If your people don't have nothing, your ministry can't have nothing. You are here to build God's people. And if you're the richest thing in the church, then you're in the wrong place, because your people need to be blessed. They need to be financially healthy. They need to be entrepreneurs. They need to be leaders. That's when now the church can really produce some fruit. I don't want to be around a bunch of poor people. I'm hungry, you hungry. Both our breath stink. Your stomach growling, my stomach growling. I got 50 cents, you got a quarter. We can't even go to a drive-thru and get a biscuit, because a biscuit like $2, right? And I don't even like bread, but if you're hungry, you'll eat anything. And so that's why I'm talking to you the way I'm talking to you today. You've got to know that you've got to have something. And let me help you out, young people. If you are 29, you cannot touch your 401k until you're 58 or 59. So what, am I right? And a half. And a half. So what you going to have in between? I got 401k, my company. And let me tell you something, 401ks are going away. They're dissolving them. And insurance is going to go away because they're going to start making a lot of people subcontractors. So you work for a company because they tired of paying insurance and they tired of paying all this. And so you need to learn how to invest in yourself. And you need to learn how to carry insurance on yourself. And it is expensive. Am I making sense? God bless you. It's time to go. I got to go to Greenwood.